Hello, YouTube family. This is Iris. Today is Thursday, June 23rd. I just wanted to take you on a brief walk through the garden as I am preparing to do a few cutbacks for the garden walk preparation. So the zebra grass is saying hello. We have some petunias, and I won't necessarily try to do each and every plant, but the six-sided sedum, this is their bloom. We have the container planters doing well. That sweet potato vine right here really likes where it is going. Again, today's date is June 23rd, 2022, and I have to say that this is the first year that I think the garden has been more ready than previous years. We were building the wall, building the pathway, installing, things were arriving. Isn't that beautiful? It's just beautiful. When I look up from the patio, that's my view. From the patio to over here. That is the view, and it's gorgeous. Then we have the vining. Oh dear, did I keep the label? I'm just excited because look how well she's doing this year. No blooms on this side. Clematis, yes. No blooms on this side as of yet, but this one is saying hello world, and I'm very excited. So each year I'm excited about a new view of these two getting to know each other better. The obelisks were new crafts this year. Very excited about how they turned out, and they look like they just belong here. So each one, I have 4. Each one has a plant beneath it. So this hosta and this hydrangea were in opposite positions, and as soon as I switched them over, they both said thank you. The hosta loves the shaded canopy of the neighboring trees, and this hydrangea loves just a little more sunlight. I think I mentioned before that the container planters were purposeful this year, making a salute to the canna lilies. And then we have our ground level garden. So the phantom hydrangea, again, we're at dinner time, so looks promising. She's doing very well. More full this year than previous years. This is her second season, so I think next year with the pruning, we'll do more shaping, but it's awesome seeing it become. And then we have the lime and the lemon shrubs here in these containers. I'm in zone 6A, and they come inside in the early fall season. And then coming back, I would have to say that this garden is 90% perennial. And I did as the garden addict recommended with a budget this year instead of just, ooh, it's going to be grand. I was very mindful this year, so I think that we were very productive with our budget. So those garden hauls from Lowe's, although it's very different than what it once was, it's still a blessing. So this is another obelisk with a plant inside. That was from one of my co-workers. And then you have the yucca coming in with a bloom this year, so that'll be nice. I don't know what'll still be available during the garden walk, but y'all, look at these planters. I want to avoid the sun reflection, so I used this device from the dollar store to help the canna lilies stay upright. But look at these guys. I'm very happy with them. And then the juniper, we cut out some dead foliage and I'm excited to see that fill back in. And then the Weigelia, she bloomed beautifully, so her burgundy foliage will be nice. Another yucca and another container plant, but this one has a beautiful bloom for us to enjoy. So this is Garden Zone 6A. So we have the canna lilies and petunias were the focus for this year's garden. Out of the dozen or so, I don't know if you can see it, but out of the dozen or so dahlias I planted, I think I had, is that a slug? Y'all look at that slug. Now I gotta spray it. A slug is trying to get to my dahlia. Darn it. I'm gonna get it. And then out of the dozen I planted, only 4 yielded. I think a squirrel or a mole got to my bulbs, but I did put them in early, so they may not have enjoyed that. Another container starting at the patio. And then these were clearance plants from Lowe's, $1 each. And when I tell you a hard prune is good for the soul, it really is. And then I cut back the purple ones, so I'm going to let them flush out one more time. But I have to do the yellow petunias because they are going to be tired by the time the garden walk. And then I had to move a hydrangea that I thought was a sun-loving hydrangea, and I moved her and she didn't like it, so she went bye-bye. But here is the pear cactus preparing to put on a show. Now this blooms a yellow, beautiful flower. So this is where the flowers come out from. That guy right there is where she will bring out some lovely, lovely flowers for us to enjoy. There's another dahlia over there. And then I have a Mandevilla dipladenia, some foxglove doing a beautiful presentation in another container. We kind of purposefully planted the yellow petunias throughout the garden, just showing part of my shadow, but just showing how the yellow kind of complements so much. And then the boxwoods are doing really well at kissing one another this year. Isn't that exciting? So I'm really going to study a little more about the best pruning season for them, as this is the view from the back with the water feature. That's a solar panel for the water feature. And then we're going to go down the edible garden area as my neighbors are doing their yard work. I think you can hear all of the noises. I have some plants that are still deciding if they're going to perform for me this year, but they were Lowe's discount clearance plants, so I'm not mad about them. And then these hydrangeas were $7 rescue plants from Lowe's. They are shade-loving hydrangeas, and they're that blue hydrangea that needs the acidic soil. So they are performing amazing. I have a total of 6 of them. The petunia, the peonies plant are just deadheaded. Deadheading is something that can really, if you look at it negatively, it can consume your day. But if you look at what happens afterward, that foliage is beautiful. Why not enjoy it after it blooms? So the Japanese maple is loving her new location. And then the elephant ears are dwarfed this year. I'm not exactly sure why, but I love them the same, just the same. Those were some. So if you can see, there are several hanging baskets. The gray tone baskets were the clearance plants from Lowe's again. I had to do a hard cut back on them, but they're starting to send out babies. That's exciting. And then these hanging pots, pardon my shadow, I created what a variety of petunias, and I created them myself. That was good for the budget. And then here comes the mammoth sunflower. I'm so excited. So excited. And then I forget this one. It's the upside down heart. I'm trying to remember, but I gave a piece to a friend and she got irritable. So I'm just trying to make up with her. I have her supported, and then I am going to just continue to give her extra water, but she performs beautifully. Now we're going to enter into the edible garden. And this year's grapevines are doing especially well. It's really exciting to see them become. It's really exciting to also see what looks like they're gonna be grapes. I'm so excited. Now I need y'all to pray for me, because in the garden bed, I had a hard time with my seed starting plants. So I picked up a few starters from the farmer's market. And then you see what that little white butterfly is doing to my cabbage. So there's one out here to distract them. But in the greenhouse, which was available at Aldi's, I want to say 2 seasons ago, so I protected them. How come today, when I came out to check on the plants, there were 3 white butterflies inside the greenhouse? They work for the devil. So I sprayed them with some of that animals don't want to eat it stuff on. I might have the bottle out here to be more clear. And then here are the plants, a combination of my seed starting and the starter plants from the farmer's market. But this is my kale, which we like to juice with. That white butterfly. Look at this situation. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. I think that when the zucchini and the squash take off, that the kale will be more camouflaged and supported. Here is the asparagus plant. Again, harvesting that more in April and May, and now it's gone to its fern status. It's still beautiful to me. I'm so excited about harvesting those. And then we have potatoes, 3 different types of potatoes, 4 different types of potatoes. And then we have a blueberry shrub and a weigelia that I thought I was nursing for my sister, but it may stay, because when you nurse something, you want to make sure it goes into a nice home, and I don't want it to get run over by the lawnmower. Here's a tomato plant in the very far corner. And then we have the goji berries, some hanging baskets, pardon my shadow, again, that I created to honor the budget. And then we have our herbs. We had a terrible rain yesterday, which was kind of good for the plants, like to get saturated, but it pounced real hard on them. But this is the part, they'll come back because they're strong and meant to stay. And then if they weren't, then I have to honor nature by just going with the next group of seedlings. If you recall, this is the lane of fruit trees that we are managing in the espalier pattern to keep the fruit at this height, so that we're not like reaching up to the trees to get fruit. So it's a type of topiary, I guess. But very excited to see the branches becoming. And then we recently cut back anything that was unintentional, so all the nutrients can go to the intentional plants. And then someone mentioned that if you get these little laundry bags from the dollar store, you can protect your fruit from the birds and the vermin. So that lets the sun in. It's on drip. I'm very excited that we may be able to enjoy our blueberries this year. And then that is some cilantro. This is a blackberry. If you can see through the marsh, it is a lot of little ones coming in. That's exciting. So we have 2 apple, 2 pear, and then 2 cherry. And the cherry, no, it wasn't the cherry. It is one of the pears that looks like she's about to go into blooming. So little research for what blooms when to get a partner plant that can serve as a pollinator partner. When the pollinators come along, they'll both be ready to be pollinated. But this is the edible garden, and I'm very, very grateful, very grateful. Mulched it, edged it, just a natural edge for it. But this year, it really does have a more mature stance for us to enjoy. And then these sky pencil hollies, their purpose is to grow up. We're gonna manage them at about 7 or 8 feet and then let them be a natural curtain for the edible garden. It's pretty. And then this is our view from the patio, the back of the house, with the natural edging. The irises were beautiful. And then what bloomed next? I know the lilies were here really quickly, but here comes the daylilies on this side of the garden. And then the gold mouse spireas are blooming as well. Our purple fountain grass likes where it is. I can't wait till it gets taller. And then we also have a rescue hydrangea here. I think I left the label on it. I just can't recall it right now. I am really trying to feed the birds because I love nature. We'll see how it goes. I don't want vermin, so we'll see how it goes. And this is the tiger eye sumac. Just cut back a couple of stems from him to focus the nutrients on the upper stems. I really want to help guide it to be a standard and to complement the butterfly bushes behind it. It should be beautiful. Another gold mound spirea. All the irises are offering some beautiful, beautiful foliage. And then those guys are the hydrangeas, little limelight hydrangeas. We'll see again how the bird feeders go. And then coming around here, this hydrangea, this is the first year she's gonna bloom for me. So once I see her blooms, I'll be more able to identify exactly who she is. And then coming back around this way, you can really enjoy the astilbes. So at first I was like, where'd that pink one come from? But they are beautiful. They really just say welcome home. And then these hydrangeas are getting ready to put on a show. So this is an interesting lesson for me because this is a dark stem that helps me identify it a little better, but it blooms on old wood, so it makes me believe it's a macrophylla, but then only on new stems. So old wood and new stems. So this is a new opportunity to learn more about those. And then these guys are getting ready to put on a show. I don't know what's going to be available during the garden walk, but I have to tell you, I'm excited about these. And then here are our backdoor planter. Last year, these guys did so beautifully that everything else just didn't seem right. So I ended up putting more of them here. And then we have from hydrangeas over to hostas. And then we have Priscilla. Oh, what is the name of your gladiolas? Priscilla. And this beautiful baby, this is her second cutback. So my goal is in 4 weeks, it'll be nice and full again. She did beautifully. But before I cut back the planters or the astilbes are no longer in bloom, I wanted to walk you all through what you can enjoy in zone 6A and how that can help you enjoy your outdoor living space. Again, this has been more than a notion. It was a labor of love, and I regret not one moment. Pardon my shadow. I was surprised that this plant came out blue, because I did not treat this soil. So if she maintains her blue, and I know soil can be different in different parts of your landscape, I may let the others stay outside over the winter because they were marketed as a indoor hydrangea. And then these guys, just putting on, I believe those are begonias, the red ones, and then the purple. And then again, had to spray a couple of plants that looked like they were being treated terribly. But as you can see here, the Autumn Joy sebum is doing really well. So I clipped some of them off and planted them along this fence line so I don't have to weed whack or take the lawnmower up in that little crevice. And that'll enable it to have like a Autumn Joy sedum welcome coming up to the back gate. So just wanted to share with you all some of the really pleasurable components of landscaping outdoor. Oh, look what happened to them. It must have really thunderstormed down. And that's a mammoth sunflower. I hope he enjoys his spot and performs. And then I'll conclude with the black lace elderberry. Her blossom is just, hi guys. Never despise small beginnings, because she is saying something. I don't know if you can see it from this angle, but the berries make beautiful jam. So just wanted to say hello in the month of June. June. And that's what these guys look like, having recently been planted. This is the view from the street. When you walk down the street, it says, "Welcome to our neighborhood." And then last but not least, thanks for all the beautiful suggestions about the porch. And those guys came out pretty good. Just a couple of house plants. The house gets a break from the plants. The painting came out nicely. And then I still have my herbs and have some basil. I love basil. I love it. And then some kale. It really is a type of therapy to serve your family a place to relax. My last view I want to give you, although we walked past the hydrangeas again, I would just love for you all to enjoy. This is what it looks like when you come out of your vehicle coming into your home. It says "Welcome home" in the most encouraging way. And then this is what it looks like when you take your dinner plate outside and say, "I'm gonna just eat outside. It's a beautiful day." This is what you get to see. This is what says, "Come to your safe place." So wherever you are, whatever zone you're in, with a little bit of sweat equity times a million, But with some sweat equity, over time, you can create an amazing space. Please get out, enjoy your garden, do a little garden therapy, calm your soul and your mind from the stressors of this world, and see the beauty of nature and what God can do with a seed. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to view this garden. I wanted to walk slowly and not rush. It's a little breeze today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up and like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye-bye.